I feel like it will always be good to play while you're ahead. But just keeping the main thing as a defense, just attacking, just everybody doing their job, just staying on your keys, just simple is better. We don't have to do nobody has to do extra or do minimum. Like everybody just do their part, and good thing is turn on for itself. And that's what I was saying yesterday. It just felt like the energy was different. Um, the crowd was still, the dog pound. Our team just brought like extra fire within us with just being not where we want to be, and that led up from the practices, the film rooms to bringing it to the game. So I mean, what you seen yesterday was you just seeing people that kept their head down and just kept working and took everything serious.
And then in weather like that, especially the first half, is there an advantage, the offensive line or defensive line? Does one side have a more advantage in that kind of weather?
It just depend. I would say with our style of defense, I feel like they tried to use it against us, but it didn't work out in their favor because we prepped for it. We worked in practice at it. So just being sound to the our sound to what we have going. Just like, okay, if you saying, okay, they're gonna run screens and stuff like that, all right, bet, make sure y'all keep your eyes out for screens. Make sure you don't forget to rush, but also, be mindful of what they could try to do to try to turn against us just based off how we play as a defense. So we had our eye out for it, and we put it to bed as quick as possible. So
All right, thank you.
All right, next we go to Scott.
Hey, when Miles down like he did today, due to the offense, like what can them reacting?
I would say I can't going in and out.
Scott, you're breaking up a little bit.
Hey, when Miles moves around like he did, what does that do for you defensively and you see due to the offense?
I mean, it puts them in a bind because Miles has always been on the right side. Well, the offense is left our right side, and just for him to, they put a lot on him responsibility wise, just to go, inside, outside, go to the left a little bit, go to the right, just to mess with their game plan because they're always looking to chip to his side or try to slide to his side and stuff like that. So for him to, I know it kind of messed their plans up a little bit. But for it also opened it up for everybody else also, just to try to get to the quarterback and stuff like that. So, but for him, it was a big kudos to him for handling that type of responsibility, and he did it with ease.
And what did you think about Jim? It felt like his game plan was more aggressive, bringing more blitzes maybe than he normally does.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different type of style offense. It's not like any other offense that we played so far. You have a left-handed quarterback in Tua, so just trying to mix it up, make him feel as uncomfortable as possible, which we succeeded in. So I mean, it was a lot thrown at us, but it wasn't nothing that we can handle.
Thanks.
All right, next we go to Ashley.
Hey Alex, just what did you think about the defense collectively getting that game ball? And did you all give Coach Schwartz a hard time for going a little viral for
No,
accepting it shirtless last night?
we was waiting on him for a good bit. I mean, Suarez, he's in and out. So but yeah, it was just like, I harped on it. It felt like we was back in 2023 again, not trying to live in the past or whatnot, but just the energy and the swagger and just the physicality approach that we wanted to bring. I felt like you seen a lot of it yesterday, and it's not just D line making plays. It was the back end making plays. It was the linebackers making plays, and it was just constantly and just consistently and consistently. And there was times where where a run broke out. It was like a 40-yard run or a 70-yard run. It was like we didn't budge. We didn't hold our heads down. We recouped in the huddle, and we got back out there and put a stop to it. So just the term of being resilient as a defense, and just coming together and just being with each other is that's what you want to have in a defense, and that's what we preach to each other. That's what sports preach. That's what we preach in our meeting rooms. That's what we preach out in practice also. So just taking it into the game and just watching it into fruition, it kind of like it's kind of like you see it on the other end, and it can kind of feel demoralizing a little bit. So just for that to, be a part of it, it feels good. So we just got to be consistent. We just got to keep working at it. And just take one game at a time and one practice at a time.
And then what's it like been getting to know and like seeing Tyson these first couple of games with you guys? And I mean, just the fact like he's so big, he's a bigger corner, but he moved so fast to obviously chase Achan down on that one like 46-yard run and stop the touchdown.
When we seen that, that was just like you just see like a never die attitude from Tyson. Like in the fact that A-Chain was a track runner, I think in college. And I think they said Tyson had like a track background. It's kind of like you see it and it's like, okay, he could run. That's great. And then you see the lockdown, then you see the pick six and stuff like that. Just seeing him, just get traded because being traded, nobody wants to go through that. And I know it could be surreal, it could be emotional and stuff like that. But for him to come in and just get to work and not be down about what happened and just move on and just it's a new life, it's a new path and stuff like that. So for him to have the type of game he's had, I can't wait to see him just build on it more and more and more.
All right, next one from Brendan.
Alex, what part of your game are you working on right now? Where can you keep getting better?
In every aspect. I mean, I can never not get better. I have no ceiling. And I feel like I was just getting started. Especially as I said back in training camp. I left a lot on the table being hurt last year. So for me to come back and just put it on film and put it out for, the NFL to see is kind of like, it's kind of good for me, but it's also keeping me humble to the fact that, don't never get full. Always stay hungry. Always stay humble. Always keep working at what you think is not good enough, and that's just me personally. That's just everything. Everybody has something to work on. Me, it could be, my flexibility in pass rush and run stop and stuff like that. If I see something on film or if I see something in practice, I take it, to the next period and say, okay, I want to work on this or just stay consistent at it. And that's what me and Jock have worked on in pre-practice. I would come out early, work on my steps, work on my angles, work on my hand placement, work on, my eyes and stuff like that. Just simple little stuff that turns a con into a pro. So my thing is I don't have a ceiling. I feel like I can always get better and and I can always just always just stay humble about it. Cause I could have a good game and then, knock on wood, I could have a bad game next. And that's not the goal for me. My goal is just to stay consistent and just stay working.
I want to build off Scott's question from earlier. I mean, it seems like, first of all, you guys have certainly had a good year on defense, but it felt like something yesterday was different in your approach, your aggressiveness, some of the more exotic blitzes or simulated pressures. What about that part of your game plan is repeatable, and what about that was specific to Miami?
I mean, it's just different disguises and stuff like that, stuff they never seen before. Which is like I said, stuff that we have never did before. Like I dropped more times than I would have ever thought I would imagine yesterday. But I mean, it's just like we keep it simple, but we also like to mix it up. But we also don't like to fix what's broken and stuff like that either, though. So and it just goes, okay, let's see how this works in practice. And if Swartz like it, then that's good. And if he doesn't like it, we're not gonna bring that to the game. That's not what we do. So if it doesn't look right, we're gonna throw it away. But if it looks right and if it looks good, then he has a chance to pull it out in game if he wants to. And also if he's sure of it. So I just feel like we matched up with their play style well, especially with the weather yesterday. So just trying to get the ball out. I know they was gonna get the ball out quick. So we was trying to send a corner blitz every now and then just to see having Miles inside and stuff like that, mixing him around and stuff like that. Just messing with their game plan. So I feel like we did a good job at it.
All right, last one from Mary Kay.
Yeah, Alex, just wondering, how have you seen Grant Delpit elevate his game this season, and what did you think of the game he had yesterday?
I felt like he had a dominant game. I felt like he had an all-pro game. And we always talk about with Grant. Me and Grant have got closer over the years also, and just the fact of seeing him come grow up into the leader not only verbally but as his play on the field and stuff like that, and just seeing him around in the locker room. He is one of those guys that, you know, he may not talk all the time. He'll talk a little bit, you know, here and there. You know, he'll have his fun moments. But when it's time to work, it's time to work. And when you look at Nine in the back end, he's always doing the right thing. He's always around the ball. He's always, you know, harping his teammates up. Just, you know, just having that energy in the back end of when we need a spark or something like that, Nine is gonna make it happen. So just seeing him coming to fruition and just him being, you know, this consistent and stuff like that, he's gonna have an all-pro year. So I can't wait to see that.
Thank you very much.
No,
All
for sure.
right, thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
No, for sure.
All right, guys, we have Wyatt on deck. All right, guys, same deal. We have Wyatt. You have questions, raise your hand. Mary Kay, looks like you're up.
Yeah, Wyatt, just wondering how remarkable is it for Joel to go out there and break Joe's streak with the starts as a Cleveland Brown? How cool was that?
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I think he was talking about it on Saturday or the day before the game. But it's just, you know, it's surreal when you go out there and you just, you know, you see it, he's getting that start, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, next for Scott.
Hey, Wyatt, I know you've been through it all year long, but what's it like having a rotation next to you during a game at right tackle?
We have different handshakes, so I guess that's different. But no, I mean, the communication's the same. You know, sometimes, you know, it's a little bit different with who's in there or whatever. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, I have two great tackles playing next to me who are going through rotation, but you know, I don't notice any drop off whenever we're in there and we can play. So, you know, I'm blessed to have two guys that play so hard next to me. So I'm thankful.
And I think we saw Miles move around more than normal yesterday. As an offensive lineman, what would that do to you when you see that kind of pass rusher bouncing around?
I mean, spinner's not a new thing. Usually they take their best pass rusher and, you know, create a spinner to, you know, he can spin around the whole defense and, you know, go against whoever he picks. I mean, a couple years ago, I remember him doing that like basketball thing to the center. No, it's scary. Someone like that who can, you know, basically go against anybody. You know, I always make the joke that like he should just go from like start in the middle and wherever they put the tight end, just keep on walking back and forth, and they're going to get a delay of game. I think he did that a couple of years ago. But if everybody's going to double or triple team him or make the slide, then he should make it just move from side to side and just mess with him. But no, yeah, Miles is the real deal. I mean, the ability, the speed, the you know, amount of space he can create, and he's 280 pounds doing it. He's not 230 pounds, 240 pounds doing it. So it's hard to block.
Thanks.
All right, next for Ashley.
Hey Wyatt, on the broadcast yesterday, I know they kind of like immediately praised the blocking you did on Quinshon's 46-yard touchdown. So what were you seeing on that, and how happy were you to get like an explosive run play like that for a score?
Yeah, no, I mean they were holding in there tight, just, you know, a couple, you know, just holding your block for a second longer could have made one of the earlier runs break, but you know, to have, you know, I think it was KT come in there and we just, you know, demolished that side, and you know, finally got good push, and you know, we got, you know, Q who, you know, give him some space and he's not going to stop running. So you know, it's nice when you get that early in a game, you know, have the you know, it allows you to run the play over and over and over again, and gives coach confidence in calling it. So, you know, whenever you have a big run, or, you know, obviously you want every run to end up in a touchdown, but that doesn't always end up the way it is. But no, I'm happy that we got that big run, and then, you know, added some, you know, good explosive runs after that.
Yeah, I mean, how important just was it to stick with the run? Because I mean, I know in the first quarter, especially, like Q had some negative yardage plays, but you guys kept coming back to it. So how important was that?
Yeah, no, I feel like it's sometimes, stressful if a play doesn't go the right way and you're just like, oh no, hopefully, coach gets back to it. That's why, some of the plays we run, they're not very complex. So it's like, all right, look, the guy made a play, but he's going to get, if you keep on running the ball, especially in the rain that like we were, yesterday's weather, it just, it's gonna break. They're not gonna be in the perfect position every single play. It happens to our defense, who is really dang good. It happens to their defense, who's good. It happens to a lot of good defenses. So even though they were stout in those first couple runs, everything like that, it was a matter of time until it breaks. It's like you're chipping away.
All right, we'll do two more, Jeff.
Hey, Wyatt, what are your impressions of Q at this point of the season?
Oh man, I love Q. I think that he's um intense, extreme hard worker. He's smart, he runs hard, he has passion. Sometimes a little too much passion. I have to, kind of back him down the tree when he's talking smack to my D lineman. I say, hey man, I got to block him. All right. Don't talk too much to him. But no, he's an awesome guy. I mean, I love him. I think that he's a great football player, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Thanks.
All right, last one from Spencer.
Hey Wyatt, how much Joel kind of talked about this in the middle of the week last week, but how much do you guys up front sort of relish both that weather that was out there yesterday, but also a game plan that revolves around just kind of, run blocking and trying to get the run game going?
Yeah, no, I as an offensive lineman, you love it. If you're getting to go forward, pass blocking, it's really cool. And, for lack of a better term, it's, the sexy way of winning a football game, but it's not fun. You're going backwards, and they get to go forwards. And in case you guys didn't know, they're probably a little bit more athletic than us. So it's never fun, going backwards against guys who want to rip your face off and then your quarterbacks. But it was nice to kind of put that pressure on them yesterday. We ran the ball, had a couple big plays, time of possession, good things were happening, and we put the pressure on them. Too many times, Joel and I were making a joke on the sideline. We've been in that situation where it's like, you're down by a couple scores. You got to pass the ball to win the game. Now, once it gets out of hand, let's run the ball off and run the clock down. Obviously, we want a chance to win, but if passing isn't doing it, maybe a long run or something. There was I think a play yesterday where they had like a draw for 21 yards. So sometimes it does work in the situation, but I'm just thankful that coach, even though like we were talking about, had negative runs, he still was like, no, this is the plan we're gonna have, unwaveringly. Just we're gonna relentlessly just run the ball, and I love it. I feel like that's the formula of success for this team. We have a great defense, our special teams, great punter, great. We had a couple big plays yesterday where we got the ball out. I mean, it's just if we can play like that every week now, I don't think we're going to get that many turnovers. And now that there was a bit of luck to that, but it was just like, that's how our team should have been playing from the beginning. And, we had a close, couple close games, but still, that was the win that, I felt we should have been doing or been playing. That's the way we should have been playing all year.
So I guess off of that, how can a game like that, where you guys did have success running the football and that was kind of the bread and butter, be a momentum builder for the offense moving forward, especially against a tough Patriots team that with Vrabel coaching them is going to be pretty tough?
Yeah, exactly. No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we have a little bit of, momentum running the ball. That being said, there were still times in, third and fourth quarter. Now it's 4-minute offense, and they know we're running the ball, and we know we're running. They know, all the fans know it. So to still be able to get a couple first downs and, still have some kind of offense, was good. But, it's going to be a really good team. I think they're 5-2, talented team, like you said, with Vrabes. They're going to be wired up. So, we have our work cut out for us. I think I've said that about a million times finishing these interviews, but no, I think that the Patriots have a talented front and talented defense and good organization that we're, like I said, we got a work cut out for us. So
Thanks.